My boyfriend's mom found my HIV medication, and now his whole family knows my status. My entire divorce can be blamed on my in-laws. I learned the hard way, so, to put it briefly, I would strongly caution against being in this relationship.
That's the way I see it as well. This issue will forever hang over their heads. The fact that the mom invited OP and her son to stay with them, and went snooping, suggests that may have been her intent in having them stay at her place. This is not a promising beginning to a potentially lifelong relationship.
Honestly, I don't date people who are enmeshed with their family. I'm dating you, not your mom or your sister or your dad. I don't care if they like me. I am not even pleased with my current family. I am not in the market for a new one, unless I create it myself. Relevant American Dad clip. Yeah, I had an ex who couldn't do anything his family wasn't okay with, and felt pressured to do whatever they wanted. He didn't have my back at all about his brother being an asshole to me, which was a major factor in our breakup. Never again. Yes, I had a boyfriend who was 25 and his mom ran his whole life. It was like a plot of a movie. She was everywhere. When we moved in, he said we had to have a 2-bedroom apartment and make it look like we had separate bedrooms for his family. I cut and ran after a year and change. He then got together with a girl that looked just like his mom. Damn right. I learned this with my ex and the ex-monster-in-law. It's also pathetic and instantly kills any attraction. Open mouth kissing your mom or dad. Being a self-proclaimed daddy's girl. Or mama's boy. Things like calling your mother daily. How does your vagina not just dry up so fast that you can feel the moisture be pulled from the air? Just a black hole of dryness threatening to tunnel a wormhole into another dimension. Those are way different levels of enmeshment. Daddy's girl, mama's boy are just toxic heteronormativity. Calling your parent daily could just be because you value their advice, have a lot in common. And open mouth kissing any family members is completely insane. Right. Who the fuck open mouth kisses their family members? We live 10 miles away from my in-laws and my wife talks to her mom almost daily. We built a house half a mile away from my adoptive father. We're having a Memorial Day cookout with both sets of family. Till we are pathetic, unattractive, weak, maladjusted, etc. Never change Reddit. There's a difference between being close with your family, your situation, I'm assuming, and being enmeshed to your family to the point that there is no privacy or boundaries. Things like calling your mother daily. I was with you up until this point. I'll call my mom as much as I damn well please. Can't imagine a girlfriend ever telling me not to. You don't just puke all life info to her though, right? You'd respect your partner's privacy. This. 1000% this. My wife's family is ridiculously close. They always have been. But she's always had my back no matter what, and while I know there's some things that have been issues between me and her parents, it's never been a problem. I've put my wife through hell multiple times and due to my mistakes we've had to move in with her parents. Her dad is quite protected and I expected some heavy fallout during those times. I still live with them and we don't have a perfect relationship, but they love and support me even if they don't agree. I think that is critical in a relationship and it works because my wife puts me first. I'm glad you have therapy lined up. If you are comfortable disclosing the nature of how you became HIV positive, this is the way I'd probably do it. I would have a sit down with boyfriend and his mother, and I would say, you found my medication, figured out what it was used for, and shared my status without my consent. I became HIV positive at 15 after being repeatedly raped and abused by an adult. Because of the medication you found, whether in my purse, or on the ground. I am not able to infect anyone. My HIV status was not yours to discover, but after you did, it was not yours to share, and I am hurt that you shared it with others instead of returning the medication to me and talking to me about it. This was a massive breach of trust. And go from there. Your boyfriend should be supporting you 100%. No questions asked. His mother did nothing right. Edit 1. I wrote this hastily before a call at work. I did not expect this response. I will say, this kind of conversation may very likely not go well, but it gives your boyfriend's mother one chance to do the right thing. If she doesn't immediately back down and apologize and make moves to rectify, a new game plan will need to be arranged between OP and OP's boyfriend. Boyfriend specifically needs to be OP's support and protector here. His family has really hurt OP, and his next move set a precedent for how his family should treat her. Edit 2. Emphasis on if you are comfortable discussing. I'm not implying OP has to discuss her trauma if she isn't comfortable doing so. I'm a super petty person and I would probably start the conversation by asking her, how did you think I became infected? Just to see her reaction. Whatever her assumption is, you can follow up with your real story. Now ask her, how do you think she would react after being infected with HIV after being raped? I bet she is so focused on her son she hasn't spent a bit of time thinking about what you're going through. Frankly, I would throw it in her face that this whole thing has given you PTSD from that previous abuse. She is not treating you like an adult nor her son. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Although a little bummed with myself for getting it for my pettiness. As some people pointed out, it doesn't matter how they were infected as far as HIV stigma. I don't mean to imply that it's only okay because of what happened to OP. OP pointed out this was due to a traumatic event in their post. If OP wants to take the advice above me and hash it out, it's up to them if they want to reveal the how, why, and even that it's traumatic even to do so. I'm fully aware that being petty doesn't help with constructive conversation. However, I can't tell you how many times people will ignore calm and calculated conversation until you start making them own up. It's up to OP to decide how aggressively they want to go forward. I can only imagine this situation feels like it's spiraling out of control. However OP goes forward, I wish them easy sailing. This seems like a tough road. I'm outright mean when my privacy is violated that much. Like, thank you for letting my rape once again ruin my life levels of mean. And then I would not talk to that person again. Sharing this is just such a massive breach of, not even trust, just decency. There are a million reasons to get an illness, and only in a few cases was the exposure to the virus or bacteria a risk taken consciously. This person should be deeply ashamed to think about it like this. There's a reason why exposing someone to HIV is a crime in many states' countries. People don't want to be sick, and they surely don't go around saying, man, today I get HIV. Boyfriend's mom should have gone directly to OP and asked her about it. That's how you react responsibly to seeing something you shouldn't even know, especially with things that are this personal. She didn't do that and gossiped around. There is no she's afraid and alone in this story, or else she would have gone to OP, her son, or someone who doesn't have enough connections to the family to gossip further, like a therapist, telephone hotline for problems. I don't know anyone besides someone who could tell that around, but that's me. OP, should you read this? Just know that if you cannot forgive her, that is okay. She did something rather unforgivable, and your boyfriend should see that like that and support you in whatever decision you make. OP should guilt trip the fuck out of this lady. She deserves to feel terrible about her actions. For the record, I don't think saying, thanks for once again letting my rape ruin my life is overkill in this situation. At all. Nor do I F this guy's mom. I'd be wary of this. In meshed family, they are usually gossipy and get into everyone's business and have no regard for minding their own business. Meddling is their forte. Agreed. I'm a petty ass bitch and I like this approach. Make her feel like the asshole she is. Definitely feel like this is a let her dig her grave and bury her in it situation. Get her to voice her shitty opinions about HIV and then pull out the, so are you going to blame me for the rape too? For the adult that sexually assaulted me as a teenager? You invade my privacy, snoop through my things and then have the audacity to blame me for my own rape. Watch her come to a fucking halt. Preferably in front of others of her family. She deserves worse. Screw her. Don't use the worst experience of OP's life for you to get a justice boner. I'm sorry I was raped as a child. Or I'm sorry that pedophilia inconveniences you. Yeah, I'm with you. She doesn't care what she's going through. That's what makes a Karen a Karen. A lack of empathy. I would honestly go after her nursing license, and not as a punishment to her, but in service to the medical industry. Using the top comment to put my 2 cents here. I for one am very petty, have no shame when someone walks over my privacy, and will drag them through the mud for their actions. I have so many stories from my parents' divorce you would not believe, and as someone who has worked in data protection in a clinic, I'd send that nurse packing if I heard she did this even outside working hours. If she does this to family, she does it to patients, and I'm not risking lawsuits for an empty-brained blabbermouth with no filter or surviving non-bodily functions attributed brain sores. Do a family meeting video call with however many people you feel okay with. I'd recommend his mom, his sister and your boyfriend. Plus maybe 2 close relatives to be sure the word spreads. Okay, as dear boyfriend's mother decided she had to take it upon herself, as a nurse, to share my private medical information with you all, I am here to put some things to rest. 1. The medication you found. I'd make a jab here at her searching your stuff, but you helps me and prevents me from spreading the disease. Boyfriend is aware of my medical status and I have never hidden it from him. 2. I was very hurt that you, especially since you are a trained nurse, did not deem it necessary to consult me or boyfriend before spreading private information to people unaffected by it in any way, shape or form. 3. From what I understand you think it is my fault I have this disease, before assuming shit things. Your choice, dear. Ask and I would have either told you it was a memory I do not wish to speak of, or, if you had my trust which now you have truly lost, you would have learned that I have been repeatedly raped and abused as a teenager, and the HIV was a result of that traumatic experience, optional but recommended because fuck her. So before you go and spread shit, fucking ask. It is not your place to talk about my problems to others. Anyways, dear, please take care of yourself and stand up straight. That woman deserves a chair to the face. I disagree with you. How she became infected is not relevant. It may just further violate OP's sense of privacy, and not everyone wants to share their trauma, especially with someone who has treated them so badly. Your comment makes me feel like she is only valid since she got it from rape and not a consensual relationship. Like if she had gotten it from a boyfriend under consensual circumstances, she'd be less likely to win them over. It furthers the stigma against HIV. No one wants to willingly get HIV. No one who has it is dirty or should be less than. And no one owes an explanation about how this came about either, especially if it comes from trauma. Your comment rubs me the wrong way because it seeks to get sympathy from how OP got it, rather than addressing the real issue, that is the boyfriend's mom is prejudiced about OP's status. Telling her won't change her worries. She may not even believe OP, but it will make OP, who is already feeling exposed and raw, feel even more so. You see OP's trauma like a gotcha, you were wrong, and not like the extremely painful past that she may not want to share. Telling her won't change her worries. She may not even believe OP. This. We're all thinking the mom is like us, and will be horrified and guilty of being so awful. Have the past 4 years taught you all nothing, lol? How could she do this to herself? And was she not raised properly? She's always been judgmental towards me, but this is victim blaming at its finest. Even if you haven't learned anything about how individuals can be different from you within the past 4 years, that should make it bloody obvious what the mom's response is gonna be. It's not rocket appliances. Opening up your weaknesses to people like her is opening yourself for attack. It's why these people rarely if ever apologize. 2. There's really only one way to defeat her, and that's to go on the offensive. Be the vengeful god that she fears. But keep in mind, it won't cure her. She may be defeated, but she will still be the bully bootliker she is.